Hey guys, welcome back to the Real Southern Garden. I'm Sarah, and today I have a garden tip for you that is going to change your life as a gardener. I know it definitely has mine. So the number one thing that I would say we as gardeners deal with is weeds and weed pressure and all of the crazy stuff, right? This property, when we bought it almost 3 years ago, all of these flower beds hadn't been tended to for about 10 to 15 years. And there were all kinds of native vines coming up, poison ivy, trees, like everything you can imagine. The weed pressure was very unreal. And so what I did that first year was, of course, I layered cardboard and then I put something over it. And I'm going to show you what that is in a second. But that was the first year. The second year, I didn't have to layer the cardboard anymore because the flower beds were getting a lot easier to work with. I had knocked down a lot of the weeds. And the second, and this will be the third spring, I'm just going to use this. And it is painter's paper. So you can find this at Lowe's or Home Depot. I think even Walmart has it. I'm also going to link some options from Amazon in the description. I think Amazon might even be cheaper. I don't know. I'm going to price everything before I post this video, but it will all be in the description. What I love about this is that it's so easy to cut. I got the heavy duty one that is a little bit thicker. It's called X paper. It is 36 inches by 100 feet. So for most people, this is going to cover like all of your flower beds, honestly. For me on this property, I call it extreme gardening. It's a little extreme. We probably have almost a half acre of just gardens themselves. We have 7 acres on our entire property. We keep about 3 of it looking civilized, as I call it. And then of course we have gardens on that 3 acres, not the entire 3 acres, but all over it. And my ornamental flower beds is where I really use this stuff. Obviously up there in the vegetable garden, that's a whole different deal. But if you have an area that is established, let's say, where you're not going to do a ton of planting, you roll this stuff out. You can cut it around the shrubs, leave a open circumference there. I would say about a 10 to 12 inch circumference around the shrub, just so it's not being swallowed up by the paper. It's not going to hurt it though. It's just cardboard paper. And you just cover the soil with this and you go over it with mulch, like 2 to 3 inches of pine bark mulch is what I use. And it works fabulously along with this paper to squash the weeds. And I can literally get by an entire season in most of my flower beds without really having to weed very much. Now, certain areas it breaks down a little quicker. It might buy me like 3 or 4 months time without really having to weed, very much. But the difference in the areas where I use it and I don't use it is night and day. Last year when I had my last baby, last summer, I was out here working until about the week before I had her. I'm lucky I was able to do that. A lot of people can't. But I still prepped all my garden beds with this cardboard paper to buy myself extra time so I didn't have to be out here weeding. And of course I don't have to be, but I want my gardens to look a certain way. And I just wanted to take some time off last year and not have to be out here trying to weed all the time. This year isn't much different. I have a little baby, and anything I can do to, buy myself more time in the garden where I can do the things I really love, like enjoy it, I'm definitely gonna do it. So this year I'll be using this again, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna use it right over here behind me. It has been my garden savior, this painter's paper. They also sell it, I believe it's called landscape paper, but it's just cheaper. If you just buy the painter's paper, it's less expensive. It is the same product. So why go for the name when you can just buy the painter's paper roll? I'm not a big fan of landscape fabric for a lot of reasons, but I always tell people, hey, you do what is right for you as a gardener. Landscape fabric and that kind of material, the dirt will usually get on top of it eventually, and then you'll have weeds grow on top, and it's really hard to get rid of sometimes and pull it up once you have it there for a while. I'll try to put up a picture here of some landscape fabric that we removed from this property when we moved in. It had been here for a while and it was a big mess. It's also not great for earthworms, and it's not great for just the soil microbiota and everything that you're trying to get your plants to grow in. So this stuff, on the other hand, is fabulous, and it will actually enrich your soil. After I used this in my flower beds, now of course, like I said, the first year I layered cardboard boxes and then I put this over it because the flower beds here were really, really bad. I mean, really bad. Most people aren't going to have that issue. They're just working with regular flower beds, and you just want to use this paper and you're going to be just fine. But it changed my soil. It took it from hard, compact, could barely even dig in its soil, just full of everything, like, oh my gosh, so much stuff. By layering it with this cardboard and this paper, it changed it. I mean, the soil is amazing and soft, and I can plant in it now. The weed pressure is so much better. You got to try this little tip. So anyway, I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it right here at this little bed behind me. I usually start with this bed at the beginning of the season. It's kind of a part shade, part sun area. My worst weed pressure is really in my full sun areas. My area that's around my front porch is mostly shade, and it actually does pretty well with just mulch. But that is not the way all of my yard is. So the sunny areas and the part sun areas are definitely going to be getting this again with the bark mulch over top, just so I have a little bit more time to garden, to make videos for you guys, and of course spend time with my kids. So let's get to it and let me show you how I use this. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Hope that you liked this video and that you found it helpful. And if you did, we would love for you to subscribe to our channel, hit that little notification bell, and we will see you right back here next time at the Real Southern Garden. Bye, guys.